So I've got to get my Rascal pickup truck ready for the MOT today, but you're not interested in watching that on this channel, so I'm not going to film it. What you are interested in is mopeds, so while I'm waiting for the weather to warm up, I'm just going to take a look at that Tomos A3M that I bought the other day. This one here. So the first thing I do when I ever buy a bike is check that the VIN number there matches the frame number and the engine number, because if it's the original engine, they should all match. On this, they do. Unfortunately, I didn't get a match when I did a VIN to reg check, so it hasn't got a live registration number on the DVLA database associated with these VIN numbers, which is a bit of a shame, but I had a funny feeling that would be the case anyway, because somebody's already kind of parted this bike out for spares, and you wouldn't do that on a bike that's got a live registration number. You would try to restore it. So I've been able to roughly date this bike by comparing the VIN number against some of my other bikes, and it's slightly lower than my D-Reg A3M, but it's a lot higher than my C-Reg A3M. So I suspect it's going to be a late 86, early 87. And there's something unusual on the VIN plate that might confirm that. Right, so usually on a Tomos VIN plate, it states maximum design speed is 30 miles per hour. And I've got bikes from 84 right the way up to 1990, and they all state 30, apart from ones that are late 86, early 87. They say 25 miles per hour. If you've got a bike that's like an 82 and 83, can you let me know if yours state 30 or 25, because it might be they were using up old stock of VIN plates. Now the reason it normally says 30 is, on UK bikes particularly, is because they have this sticker on the transmission case. That SP means it's 30 miles per hour. There are different letters for 20 miles an hour and 25 miles per hour bikes. Okay, so even though this is an A3M and doesn't come with indicators as standard, it has got the kind of dealer fitted indicators like I've mentioned before on some of my other A3Ms, although these aren't the usual CEV ones that I've got on my other bikes. The rear ones are missing, as are the rest of the lights. And the wiring loom is slightly different as well to the ones that have got the retrofitted indicators. And that is something we're going to look at now. Okay, so this is the factory wiring loom, which has got your lighting circuits on it. And this here is the additional loom that's been fitted for the indicator circuit. Now usually what I found on my other bikes is that there's a diode kind of connected around about here, which essentially takes a feed from the lighting coil, which is this yellow wire, and then the diode is used to convert the AC into kind of rough DC, which then charges the battery pack and the saddle. There's also a flash unit. Now on this bike there's no diode. There's this yellow wire here that connects into where it splits off to the voltage regulator, and then there's this red wire then, which connects to the yellow wire, and that goes to the output of the lighting coil on the magneto. And that red wire then goes to a box under the saddle. It's too small to be a battery pack, which I first of all thought it was. So let's take a look inside of that to see what's going on. And that's the box I was talking about. You've got a red wire in and a red wire out. And that red wire goes up to the handlebar switch. And then the other two wires in here are black and green. Now the black and green are actually used for the indicator lights on the back. So I have a funny feeling that this is a flasher unit. Right, time for the big reveal. What is inside the box? Oh, interesting. So first thing I noticed is this here. This is a bridge rectifier. It's got 4 pins on it. So it is converting the AC to DC. I've got power transistors, transistor there, diodes, electrolytic capacitors. So this is definitely converting the AC to DC. I think it's also got a built-in flasher circuit. It's probably an oscillator here. And then it switches these transistors on and off, which is what is used as for the flasher. So yeah, it is an actual electronic flasher unit. Okay, let's take the circuit board off and see if we can find out anything more about this particular device. Nerve Plastics 986. So that confirms my suspicion on the age of this bike. I might try and do a big lifestyle schematic on this to work out how it operates. So despite the condition the bike is in, I have a funny feeling it hasn't done that many miles. The teeth on both the front and rear sprockets are quite good. They haven't gone pointy. And it's still got the original factory-fitted tyres made by Sauer, or Sauer. If you're from the former Yugoslavia, please correct me on my pronunciation. Sadly, the speedometer is missing, so I can't confirm the mileage on the odometer. Let's take a look at that front wheel, because it's looking a little bit funky. So what you usually find with the wheels, if the bike's been stood for an amount of time, it'll rust the worst at the point that's closest to the ground. And as these wheels are seized, it is that point there. I think the rest of the actual rim on the wheel is okay. A bit of a clean up. Same goes for the spokes. But yeah, that is probably the worst bit of rust I have seen to date. Nope, I think this is the worst amount of rust I have seen to date. The rear wheel though seems pretty good. And I think it's because the chain was missing. It was kind of free to rotate as people kind of dragged the bike around. Although the rim tape is hanging out of it, and how the rim tape got around the rear sprocket I don't know. But it does mean that the kind of inside might be a bit rusty. So this is not going to be a restoration project, unfortunately. If it had been registered, then there might have been a possibility of that, but this is worth more to his spares to fix other bikes I've got that are registered. I will be using the frame, swing arm and rear wheel on a project that I've got planned, which I will be sharing with you, and that's going to be a lot more exciting than restoring one of these. Anyway, talking of that, I've got a pickup truck to fix. So with that, remember to please like, subscribe and comment, and take care. I'll see you again soon.